everyone, and this is BioPhoenix here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a PS1 game, which I guess is no surprise since I've been taking a look at a lot of them lately, and this one just ever so happens to be Blazing Blade Eternal Quest. Oh god, I just realized this game has the name Eternal Quest, which was the last game I reviewed that was a fucking piece of shit. So already off the bat, this game just has to be better than Eternal Quest. I mean, there's just no way it could be worse than it. But anyways, this game is indeed an RPG, but it's more like an action RPG, and it was developed by T&E Soft and published by FunSoft. So are they like the happy version of FromSoft? And this game was released in 1998 and only in Japan and Europe. Yeah, we never got this one over here in North America. At least the PS1 version, where the Windows version actually came out in North America and Europe, and Japan didn't get that one. But we're going to be focusing more on the PS1 version because that's the one I just happened to get working. But before we move on, one interesting thing I do want to point out is that this game specifically in France actually has a different name and a different cover art. So now, onto the game's story. Well, unfortunately this game barely has a story. So it's about the land Forsaria and you gotta save it from evil. And before you ask, no, Dr. Evil is not in this game because there's no sharks with frickin' lasers attached to their heads. So yeah, not a whole lot I get to say about the story, but when it comes to the characters though, you actually get to make the characters. In fact, that was the main draw for me with this game, is that it's an action RPG where you can customly create up to 4 characters. And the PS1 version, you can actually play up to 4 players with a multi-tap. So yeah, let's get moving on to the gameplay, but of course I just want to mention more about the character customization. So you can pick the classic character that you want, and there is many of them, such as a warrior, there's a dwarf, a priest, a sorcerer, a rogue, a hunter, an elf, and even a frickin' fairy. Although you can't really change much of their appearance other than their color scheme, which you can only do within gameplay. And then you get to pick your element, and there's earth, fire, wind, water, light, darkness, holy, and evil.
Well, I don't like to feel good. I like to feel evil.
And then you can get a certain amount of stat points you can add on to the character. And obviously, if you can tell, every single character does have their strengths and weaknesses and what they can equip and what they can't equip. But one thing I should mention that is very important is that if you do plan on playing this game and making up to 4 characters, it's going to take up a lot of room in your memory card, so be prepared for that. So after you're done making the characters that you want, you start off with the roadside inn, taking on your first quest, which is to take out a giant owl bear or whatever. So this area is pretty much your base of operation for that. You do have a room in the inn where you actually get to store items and such, like saving your game, and whenever you enter in there, you also do gain your full health. So yeah, once you leave the inn, you get to go to the first area, which is the forest, and you just gotta adventure along, hack and slashing some enemies, gaining EXP, and of course there's also some slight puzzles here and there, nothing too crazy, but there is some. So it's nothing too complicated, it's a pretty straightforward game actually, it's pretty linear. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I mean this is a PS1 game after all, with the PS1 was not really known for having really big open world games, even though there were some that were, but very rarely though. So now, as for the game's controls, well, they're not bad, but there is some little slight issues here and there. So moving around feels pretty good, and also the attacking in the game is pretty alright, although the only issue I do have with attacking are trying to hit these flying enemies. I don't know what it is, but all the flying enemies in like a lot of games I've been playing lately are such pricks. But as for hitting enemies on the ground, I don't have much issues with that, and as for the control layout, it's also fairly good, although the one thing that did take me a while to figure out was actually using the magic in this game. All you gotta do is just hold the X button. Of course, I didn't know this because I was mainly using the warrior character who doesn't use much magic, so after I switched characters as the leader, then I found out, oh shit, okay, that's how you do it. And now as for the camera angle, okay, so the camera in this game is kind of hit and miss, where sometimes the camera can be pretty good, but other times it can be a real fucking asshole. But thankfully you can fully control the camera with R1 and L1, so at least this game you do have control over it. Unlike a lot of other games where you're stuck with seeing parts of the background blocking the view, so at least that does make up for it. But probably my biggest issues with the controls has to be the clunkiness of the menus in this game. So you do have the pause menu, which of course you get to look at your stats, you get to save your game, look at the map, and you can also just look at the equipment you have. But unfortunately, you can't use the items or even change your equipment with this. You have to use the sub menu. So the sub menu pops up whenever you press the triangle button, and here is where you can change your equipment, you can use your items, you can also change the party leader. But the problem here is that the game doesn't actually pause with the sub menu, so pretty much you're going to be stuck staying in the same spot, fiddling around with trying to select the option that you want, and at the same time there's monsters just surrounding you trying to eat your asshole and you can't do shit all about it. Yeah, this sub menu just really annoys me. Also, another weird thing I have to mention, although I don't know if this is like something you can or can't do, but it's something that I spent hours trying to figure out, and it seems like I just don't fucking get it. So let's just say you pick up an item, and it's a weapon that goes for a party member in your own party, but your party leader is the one that picks it up, and he can't use that item. Well, apparently, you're stuck with that item, and you can't trade it to the other party members. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but can you trade items between other characters? Because, like I said, I've been trying to figure this out, and I fucking can't. I've tried everything. I've tried the sub menu, I've tried the pause menu, I even looked up a walkthrough, and it didn't say shit all about it. So I've come to my conclusion that you just can't, and honestly, that fucking sucks. So other than the whole hit detection on flying enemies or even the clunky menu design, the controls in this game are actually not bad once you get used to them. I mean, going from what I played last time, this is a fucking luxury. So now, as for the game's graphics, as again, they're kind of a mixed bag. So let's talk about the good. So I do like the game's backgrounds in this game. I do think they are very nice, bright, and colorful. And I do think that they do look good for 1998. But as for the bad, it would have to be the in-game character designs. Man, are they fucking bad. Now obviously, this is PS1, so, you know, obviously I'm not expecting like the most amazing graphics ever, but even for 1998, this just looks ugly. Like, all the character models just look very blurry and squished into a fucking box. It almost looks like Minecraft. It's kinda sad that I've seen PS1 games that came out in 95, 96, and 97 that looked better than this. And it's also a damn shame considering that the cover art of the game, the characters actually look kinda cool. I think this is a game that would have looked better if, like, the sprites of the game weren't 3D models, they were like 2D models on a 3D playing field. I think that actually would have looked a lot better. So overall, the graphics are very mixed for me, but at least the backgrounds are at least very good looking for the time, but the character models, yeesh. So now, as for the game's music, the music is actually pretty good in this game. Now, there's not like a crazy amount of like catchy songs in the game or anything that's crazy memorable, but I do feel that the songs in this game fit well with the game, you know, very fantasy-like. But I do like the OST though, I do think it is a pretty solid one. Not amazing, but pretty good enough. So now, if you want to go out and buy this game, now like I said, the game was only released in Japan and Europe, so if you're from Europe and you do want to own this one, I've actually seen a couple copies going for about $20 to $50, but mostly around 20, 25, 30. There's only like one that was selling for 50. So that's not too bad actually. I was expecting this one to be a lot higher than that, but no, it's actually fairly affordable. Although I never found any French versions of the game, so I would assume that one is probably a little bit more expensive, though I could be wrong on that. But either way though, if you do want this regular PAL version though, not too bad. So, what are my overall thoughts on Blazing Blade Eternal Quest? So the number one question is it better than Eternal Quest on PS2? Well, fuck yeah it is, but although that's not a surprise because pretty much anything is better than Eternal Quest on PS2. Even getting stabbed in the face by an AIDS-infested knife is still better than Eternal Quest. But as for Blazing Blade Eternal Quest on its own, it's okay I guess. So if you're going to be playing this game by yourself, the game got kind of boring fairly quickly. So what you're going to be doing most of the time is that you're going to be running around killing enemies, and it's mostly going to be the leader that's going to be killing them because your AI partners are fucking dumbasses. I mean, seriously, the only times they ever attack anything is when, like, you happen to surround the enemy by going in, like, a line, because they're always going to follow you no matter what. Also, they rarely ever use magic, which is really unfortunate because in this game, when you use MP in this game, it does gain back up automatically, so you'd think they would at least use it every once in a while, whether it be a healing spell or a fireball. So yeah, playing this game single player is just not great. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's at least playable. It's just not the most exciting thing ever. But playing this game with multiplayer with some friends, I can imagine this game being a lot better and actually a lot more fun. Where not only do you have to not worry about stupid AIs, but you also get to play with your friends and just shoot the shit while playing an RPG. I mean, that's pretty great stuff. And with the fact that you get to create your own characters, also does make this game to be a lot more interesting if you were to play it with multiplayer. So I would only really recommend this game if you wanted to play it with some friends, drink some beers, and just shoot the shit or whatever. But single player wise, yeah, you can do a lot better. But you can also do a lot worse too, because like I said, this game isn't bad or terrible, it's just a little mediocre and just kinda generic. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that it's another game that is just kind of okay. But believe it or not, this game actually did get a sequel, and it was called Blazing Blade Busters, but it was only in Japan on the PS1. So yeah, unfortunately I can't review that one. So anyways, I'll end it here, so thanks for watching and commenting, and have yourselves a good day,